Welcome back to the Beauty Body Balance podcast. Hi, I'm Dr. Erin Lucie at Luminate Clinic in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I have a special guest with me, Serena.
Hello.
She is our esthetician. And we are going to talk to you today about daily care and medical grade products and having a routine and why it's so important whenever you're trying to get really excellent results, especially combined with your lasers and your other treatments and services. And then also why routines don't work and what products don't work and the frustrations that you can get with building a routine. So let's dive into it.
Yeah.
When I think of a skincare routine, I think of cleanse, tone, correct, and protect. Like those are the four things that I think of. And what do you think of?
I think of cleansing, antioxidants, retinol, and sunscreen. So a version of that. Yeah. I don't think as much about categories. I think of like what specific things do I need to check the boxes. But same line of thought.
I will say I feel like I'm very antioxidant heavy and retinol, like pro retinol.
Oh, yeah. You do all the retinol.
I'm very pro retinol. And that goes back to our exfoliation, which we talked about in our last episode. So let's start with cleansers first.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different cleansers out there. Some are better than others. Some of them are pH balance, which is important. Our skin lives at a certain pH, and if it gets off, then it may affect the way things absorb and the way that it's effective for your skin, or even how it feels. Things could be more stingly or uncomfortable if your pH isn't balanced. We kind of all have one favorite because
we do have a favorite right now.
It's hard not to pick favorites when you find a really good one. That's
I'm going to say
balanced.
it's Pavise.
Yes. Yeah, their Gentle Amino Power Wash is fantastic. If you've not tried it, it's my favorite right now. I have it on my bathroom sink, but it's pH balanced. You don't have to do a double cleanse. It doesn't sting your eyes. It'll take your makeup off, because that's one of those important things. If you've ever used a crummy cleanser, you just feel either stripped or like you've got stuff all over your face afterwards.
Yeah. The Gentle Amino Power Wash, that one has quickly become our household favorite because I have several cleansers. And when I mean several, I probably mean like 20, right? Because we get lots of samples, we get things in the mail, reps drop things by. So I'm always using these different cleansers. But the Pavise one is the one that I personally choose to use. And then my husband, like that's the only one that Micah will use.
Yeah.
And now the Pavise is the one that is in both my kids' bathrooms because it doesn't burn their face or burn their eyes. And then it does take off their sunscreen. And I lather them up with sunscreen, and it is the cleanser that gets all that sunscreen off in the summer.
Because if you don't get everything off, then you can't get all that goodness that you are putting this time and effort into applying to your skin. You need to be able to get it to penetrate. You don't want to miss that first step. It's very important to get everything to soak in and do what it needs to do.
And that's one of the things I've really kind of had to change my own mindset on, because I'd say, okay, well, let's buy this and this and this, like get these really great correctives and whatever cleanser you want to use, like whatever cleanser. And it's not whatever cleanser. It shouldn't be. That should be the very first thing.
You got certain boxes.
A really excellent cleanser.
Absolutely.
That you love to use.
You just got to look at those different points. What's important to me, what's important for my skin function and my health, and make sure that whatever you end up with checks those boxes. And if you're not sure, just get the Pavise cleanser.
So that's what we use in our back bar before all of our treatments, is because the Pavise is a 3-in-1 and really removing all the dirt and debris and all the things on your skin. So before we do any laser treatment, we're cleansing your skin with that particular cleanser. All right. So number 1, cleanser.
Yes.
Number 2, toner. And toner is one of those things where it's like a misnomer now in this day and age. It was originally invented to tone or pH balance the skin. Like Serena had said, your skin likes to live at a certain pH. And before we had really excellent technology with skincare, you would have your cleanser, then you would have your serums or your sunscreen. and the two were not matched in the
Mm-hmm.
pH. Now with technology, we could match the pH, but you would use the toner to bring the pH back to a normal level, and then you could apply your products. Otherwise, they would congeal and not sit on the skin correctly, and it would be gross. So you always had to have toner. Now, because the cleanser and the serums are all pH balanced, you don't have to have toner. But toner is, to me, is kind of like a liquid vitamin in a sense, where we have that extra chance to get something in a liquid form on your skin.
Mm-hmm.
Like
It's
acids.
going to get in there really well, very effectively. Sometimes if you haven't exfoliated enough or something like that, things can just sit on top. But if you've got a liquid, you know it's going to get in there a little bit better. Gives you a second chance to make sure that you got all your sunscreen off. There's no residue left. Everything's prepped. Depending on the formula, it may do something specific for you if you need a little more hydration or calming, or you need that little bit of extra exfoliation before you go in and put all those goodies on your skin. It's like prep. You got to do your prep work. You got to put your primer on if you're doing your makeup.
Yeah. So toner can come in this spray, and that's typically one that's going to have vitamins, amino acids, hydrators, where it's just kind of adding that hydration to the skin. And then we have pads that create a little bit more, almost like a physical exfoliation to the skin. They could be getting off some extra oil, preventing more like whiteheads and blackheads. So you get that physical scrub to it, and then also delivering a little bit of like low dose acids into the skin or other ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can take the liquid and just put it on a cotton pad like we do with nutrient toner or soothing toner, and that is being delivered just by rubbing it into the skin, but not too aggressively.
Yep.
More
Love
of
a good
liquid
toner.
vitamin. So toners are nice.
Yes. If I was going to talk about requirements, personally, I wouldn't say it's a requirement, depending on what you're getting for exfoliation, because that is important. But you got to cleanse.
Yeah, you have to cleanse, and then a toner that you enjoy putting on.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes
and if you're not
for the
sure,
experience of, I just want to spray this on my face because it smells good.
Yes. I know you're a big fan of that, just
I
like
am.
in the experiential. Because if you don't love your skincare routine, it's so much harder to do it. It feels like a pain and a chore rather than a labor of love and self-care. And that's something that's important to me, is that you enjoy what you're doing. And so if you're not, then let us know, and we'll make some changes for you and see what you need to do so that you do enjoy the experience and you love what you're doing and you're willing to take that time out of the day for yourself.
Mm-hmm. So after our toner is our correctives. And correctives are things that I love. They're the most exciting because that's where we really plan your treatment plan and really hone in on what's going on. Our correctives are going to be pigment controllers, acne controllers, peptides, growth factors, things that are targeted treatments for your skin.
Mm-hmm. I know that one of the ones that really makes me excited is pigment. I love to work on pigment. You know, there's things like tyrosinase inhibitors that help kind of control the conversation that your pigment cells are having.
Tyrosinase is
it's a little messenger cell that talks to your melanocyte, which is the pigment cell that we're talking about. And so if you can kind of shut down that conversation that's happening, then you don't get as much. So if you're looking to control your pigment or prevent, if you've had pigment in the past, you know, once a pigment cell is damaged, it's damaged for the rest of your life. So you always have to be on top of taking care of it. So your correctors are really important.
Yeah, especially with melasma. So there's a couple different types of pigment. You can have UV-induced pigment, which looks like a freckle disbursement. And then we have melasma, and melasma is going to be deeper. That's more like a patch that comes from the inside. So that is definitely dermal pigment. So it's very deep in the skin. And typically it'll be bilateral, where we have like a patch here, like two patches on your cheeks, and then like a patch on your forehead, or a patch on this cheek and this cheek. So you'll have the same thing on each side most of the time, where they look identical, but it's coming up from the inside. So that means it's very, very deep in the skin. So daily care is super important. Tyrosinase inhibitors are very, very important to stop those cells from making more pigment.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and one that I don't want to forget is antioxidants. Antioxidants fight off free radical damage that happens within the skin. So that can be happening from car smoke, just the environment external, but your body also makes free radicals. So we have to stop that from happening so that we get this chain reaction of damage that happens. So those are things like vitamin C, but there's also lots of other botanical blends out there now that give you a more diverse blend of antioxidants to stop that reaction from happening. And those are every day, twice a day corrective that are really important to me. I think like I said, everybody needs those.
Everybody needs an antioxidant. No matter kind of like what your skin tone is or what's going on with your skin, an antioxidant is really going to be your preventative. Like Serena said, it's stopping that damage from happening. Basically, an antioxidant is going to stop a free radical. So a free radical is something that is almost like a tiny little skin bomb. So it goes in, it has like not enough electrons to make it stable, right? So it's going in and it's attacking all of this skin. And what an antioxidant does is it donates an electron to make it a complete molecule, and it just kind of calms it down.
I love it.
Just stop doing what you're doing. The other thing with the antioxidants is that some of them now have DNA repair. So it's actually able to not just protect you from future damage, but also repair the damage that has happened in the past. And that's really important. That is newer technology over the past, I don't know, maybe 5, 6, 7 years. It used to be we were only able to use the antioxidant like vitamin C to like prevent damage from occurring, like your sunscreen is a preventative, but the antioxidant itself is helping to prevent, but also now it can repair.
Yep, we can kind of rewind time a little bit back. So it's never too late. That's an important thing to know with skincare. Like you're like, oh, I spent decades abusing my skin. It's too late for me. It's never too late. Technology is incredible. There are so many things out there now that are tailored for so many different skin types. Whatever your situation is, it's never too late. We can always correct. Always.
Talking about technology, the first antioxidant that comes to mind is vitamin C, and that is because it has been around for a long time. I think like 25, 30 years as we've been using vitamin C for an antioxidant. And we used to say, or kind of still say, vitamin C, when you put it on before your sunscreen, can protect your skin and help your skin. It's like 30 times better than sunscreen alone because the vitamin C adds that extra layer of protection. Now the technology that we have with these DNA repair enzymes and some of the other botanical antioxidants is that it can be 250 times, 300 times stronger than the vitamin C. So it's just way better technology now than we had 30 years ago. Everything's evolving. So if you're using vitamin C, it's time to move on.
We can upgrade. We can
upgrade something a little bit better. It does feel good. It does smell good. If you have rosacea, it's probably not going to work as good because it can be stingy because it is ascorbic acid and it can kind of burn the skin. So there are better things. So if you've used vitamin C and you're like, oh, this burns, there are things that are more cosmetically elegant and are functioning better. Just better technology in the skincare world. So vitamin C, antioxidants.
Yes.
Then we go into a little bit deeper repair. We do have a full acne line. We use Face Reality for acne. So we want to use those targeted ingredients that are going to go in and like for acne specifically, it's going to be reduce redness, reduce inflammation, control the oil, and then kill any bacteria. Right? So those are the 3 things that we look at when we're figuring out an acne routine. And then for hyperpigmentation, we talked about what is it?
Tyrosinase. I was like, what are we looking
inhibitors, or melanogenesis inhibitors. And then we're going to put those on. And then for aging, we look at peptides and growth factors. So those are going to be our correctives in the aging realm. Growth factors are ingredients that grow new skin. And then peptides are amino acids that help to tell your skin what to do. So they're a little bit more specific. When we're talking about peptides for the skin, we use them to increase collagen and elastin, right?
Yep.
So you want to put those on immediately after your toner or after your cleanser. Your correctives are going to go.
Yes. Yeah. And if you're ever not sure about what order, just let us know and we can help you kind of fine tune what order things need to be applied. Everything's personalized depending on what individual products that you have, which is going to depend on what's going on with your skin. Everybody's a little bit different, and there's usually a combination of things going on. You know, you may need a little bit of acne control along with some anti-aging. And so we can help you customize when things are going where in your routine, so everything's getting in there and being as effective as possible for you.
Mm-hmm. And usually I tell patients, like, you want to put everything on thinnest to thickest, right? So you would cleanse, then you would have your water consistency toner, and then you would go into your gels and your serums, like your thinner serums. Like Provoke is one of our strongest peptides, and that is very thin consistency. So that one goes on next. And then you go into your thicker consistency gels, and then you go into your creamy consistency, and then into your hydrators, and then your sunscreen on top of that in the morning time. But the skincare industry kind of places them like that, like thinnest to thickest. Your most corrective is probably going to be the thinnest product that you use in a serum form. And then they get a little bit thicker the more hydrating and restorative they are. So the growth factors. Technology has also come a long way with that. Because with growth factors, we know they're growing new skin. The downside to this is they weren't as targeted before a long time ago, where they could grow skin tags, they could grow skin cancer, they could grow brown spots. Like, they're just growing whatever they want to grow, right? So there is a big difference between a generalized growth factor and then a growth factor that's made specifically to grow new baby healthy skin. So you still have to be careful. You can't just like throw any growth factor onto the skin.
Yes, make sure that you know what you're doing, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much variety out there that you're like, oh, there's a million things. Like, what do I pick? Don't worry, we got you. Just come ask us, and we'll get you taken care of.
Yep. So then next we have hydrators.
Yes.
And in an ideal world, you don't have to use a hydrator because your skin is like thick and plump and healthy and functioning. That's our goal here, is to get the skin functioning where you don't have to lather on a hydrator at night. Like, my kids aren't lathering on a hydrator at night.
Right. There's no need. Their skin is still doing all the things that it needs to do. And so if we get your skin where it needs to be with all of your correctives and get your skin healthy, you may not need one at all anymore. And so it's kind of like an incidental. If you find that you're really relying on one, then we need to take a step back to the step before and look at your correctives. Are we getting everything nutrient-wise that we need for your skin so that you don't need one anymore? Now, some hydrators, like we have one called MGF cream from PCA, it has some peptides and correctors in it. So that's another option that you have, is kind of do a 2-in-1 situation. If you need a little extra hydration, but you still want the corrective ability, there are options.
And then the last thing is going to be sunscreen.
Sunscreen. I love sunscreen. Obviously, with the dermatology background that I have, skin cancer prevention is really important to me. But it's not just about that. You know, you've got that block from your free radical damage. You've got, protection from hyperpigmentation, sun damage, skin cancer, everything bad that could happen to your skin. That you've got that physical block that's happening. And if you're going to do anything in a routine, you have to use sunscreen. It's so important.
And especially if you're doing lasers and exfoliation, chemical peels, microderms, aquaforms, anything that's removing that top layer of skin, then you have that new baby skin on the surface, and you really want to protect that new baby skin with a sunscreen.
Protect your investment.
And sunscreen has gotten a lot better over the years too. Like, we're not having weird colors and a veil over the skin. They're totally clear, and even the physical blocks now.
And they don't smell weird anymore.
They don't smell weird.
Not everything smells like a swimming pool.
Yeah. So there's some options. All right. So if you guys have any questions about skincare, let us know. If this episode resonated with you, love it, share it, send it to your friends, watch it again and again. And just let us know if you have any questions about a routine or want help building your routine, and we will help you with that. Until next time.
Bye.